Hello everybody, welcome back to my gaming review. Today we're with my PlayStation Classic because I wanted to show the game list of the PS Classic. Now, I already made a PlayStation Classic video talking about the system and the games. It comes with 20 built-in games, but I didn't really go into the game list. Now, the system came out in 2018. Everybody, well not everybody, but I bought my PlayStation Classic in 2018. And a lot of people hated this console. A lot of YouTubers made these very negative videos, like, "Oh, it didn't come with Crash. Oh, it didn't come with Spyro." And even though, sure, I would swap out some of the games for like Crash and Spyro, but it really isn't that big of a deal because the 20 games you get are actually really fun games. Now, the most recent game I played was Tekken 3. Now, the other issue people bring up with the PS Classic is that the system has some PAL Legion games. Now, PAL Legion games are basically games in Europe that run a tiny bit slower than NTSC games. So apparently, some of these games are supposed to run slower. But the games are playable. Every game on the system works perfectly fine, and I have never had an issue with the PS Classic with any of the games on the list. So if it is a PAL region game, a game from Europe, that I do think that they should have just put all the games as NTSC, but it's not really a big deal because every single game works. So we're going to look at the game library on here, just show people the games that you get. So, first game on the list is Tekken 3. It is a very fun fighting game. I played it this morning a little bit, and it's a lot of fun. It's also 2 players. It's made by Bandai and Namco, and it's a really enjoyable game. The other game I really enjoy on the system, some people hate this game, but I actually really like this game. It is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six on the PlayStation 1 kind of reminds me of Counter-Strike more than just Rainbow Six because you're saving hostages, you're defusing bombs, but it's overall a really fun shooting game experience. Some people say this game is unplayable because you have no joysticks. That is a lie because I've been able to get all the way to level 5 with just a D-pad and these buttons. So, no, you don't need to have a joystick to play these games. The next game on the list, I shouldn't have to really explain it too much, but if you're a PlayStation fan like I am, it is Twisted Metal. Now, Twisted Metal is a super fun game. I love playing as Sweet Tooth. He's really fun to play as, and I also sometimes use cheat codes just to destroy everybody and feel like an absolute god in the game. But anyway, Twisted Metal, very fun game. It's also 2 players right there, and it's just a really fun racing shooting game. This is the game Wild Arms. I didn't really play this one too much, but if you enjoy RPGs, this would be a good game for you to get. Next game is Battle Arena Toshinden. Battle Arena is not too bad of a game. It is another fighting game. It's not as good as Tekken 3, but this game is also pretty fun though. You can play 2 players as well. And, it's just a fun fighting game. Now, this game kind of irritates me. It's Cool Borders 2, but I fall all the time because I don't know how to play the game. I'm not really exactly sure how to play it too well, and I keep on falling in the game, which really makes me angry. But it is a fun game that I think some people enjoy. This one I would probably swap out with like Crash or something, but again, it's not really that big of a deal. It is a fun game that I can sit there and play 5-10 minutes with. This is Destruction Derby. This game's actually really fun. I really like I'm not sure what the game mode's called. There's like multiple game modes in the game. A lot of replayability value to this game. And on Destruction Derby, there's actually cheats as well. You can make your car indestructible. But anyway, on this game, you have multiple different kinds of game modes. My favorite game mode is the one where you're not really racing, but you're trying to destroy each other's cars, and it's just really fun. When you don't use cheats, though, it's very difficult because I get destroyed immediately because everyone just wants to crash into me at the start of the game. Now, this game, I also shouldn't have to explain this one. This is Final Fantasy. everybody knows what Final Fantasy is. Everyone loves Final Fantasy, and the PS Classic comes with Final Fantasy. Next game on the list is Grand Theft Auto #1. The PS Classic comes with a Grand Theft Auto game, and the first Grand Theft Auto game is actually really enjoyable. It's really fun. Also has cheats. You know, a lot of these retro games have cheats. I just realized that a lot of these new games nowadays don't really have cheats the way they used to, where you can just kind of like mess around the way you can. And it's not so much like cheating. It's like when you beat the game, then after the game's over, then you should, you know, do whatever the hell you want after you beat the game. But I have like all weapons unlocked. I have like infinite amounts of money, and it's just overall a fun, really enjoyable, fun game. And again, Grand Theft Auto is a very fun series. This game I actually had a lot of fun with too. It's a two-player game as well. This is called Intelligicube. So it's kind of like basically it tests your IQ level, and you have to like break these green cubes right there. And it's a pretty enjoyable game. If you want to watch a video on Intelligicube, it should be on YouTube anywhere you look. If you just type it in, it's a game that is for some people. It's not for everybody. And then the next game on the list is Jumping Flash. Now, Jumping Flash is a shooting game. Plus, I would say it's a platforming first-person shooting game. You have to you play as like this robotic rabbit. Sounds a little ridiculous, but it's a robotic rabbit, and you have to like shoot these enemies that try to get you. You have to jump on these blocks, and you have to actually get the carrots. This game's really fun. I'm only on like level 4 in the game because I've kind of had some difficulty with the levels, but it's a really fun game. Lots of replayability value, and again, it's another fantastic game that comes with the PS Classic. Next game is Metal Gear Solid. This is a very fun, enjoyable game. I love the VR missions in this game. And I've also played a little bit of the campaign mode, and there's a lot of replayability value to this game. And again, Metal Gear Solid is a game that a lot of people know. I mean, you got Snake, who's in like Smash Bros. And stuff, and this game has come a long way. But this is like one of those game series everyone knows about, which is Metal Gear Solid. This game is actually pretty fun too. This is Mr. Driller. I'm not sure if many people know about this game, but it's basically a game where you play as this little character called, you know, Mr. Driller, and you have to drill down in the ground, and basically you run out of oxygen. So if you run out of oxygen, you have to get these little like air bubbles, and they're blue, and you have to try to like get oxygen again so you don't die. Sounds like a very dark game the way I'm explaining it, but it's actually not really a dark, scary game. It's just kind of a game where you just drill down and you have to try to survive as much as possible. This is Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. I have not played this one that much, and I would say I hate this game. I didn't like this game at all, and this is one of the games I would probably change in my PS Classic for like Spyro or Crash or maybe even Medal of Honor. But it's an okay game. Some people will like this game. Me personally, I don't play it. This is Rayman. Everyone knows what Rayman is. Very enjoyable game, very fun game. I think I've reached like level 4 or something in the game. Not sure, I haven't really played it in a while. The only games I've played recently on my PS Classic would be Rainbow Six Siege and Tekken 3 and Cool Bottles 2. Okay, next game on the list is the Resident Evil Director's Cut. You know, for all the crap this console gets on it, you know, back in 2018, a whole bunch of people hated the system, and they're like, oh, it sucks because of the game library. But you get Grand Theft Auto, Resident Evil, Twisted Metal, Rainbow Six Siege, Tekken 3, which are all very enjoyable and fun games. But again, you get Resident Evil with the PS Classic. Pretty awesome. And again, obviously it's Resident Evil, so you're fighting zombies, it's a horror game, and it's actually pretty fun. This game I do not play at all. This is Revelations Persona. There's actually a lot of people who love the Persona games. Me, personally, I don't really play them. I'm not really a massive RPG fan, but this is another game that came with the system, and I have played it a little bit. I have like a resume point. Maybe I will try to play it some more, but I probably will not play it very much if I do play it again because I just don't know what I'm doing. This game is all for Ridge Racer Type 4. This game came out, I think Ridge Racer came out when the PlayStation first launched, the PlayStation 1, and this is a very fun racing game that you can play in third person and first person, and, it's a very fun racing game. Next game on the list is Super Puzzle Fighter 2. It is a puzzle fighting game where you have to try to beat your opponent and try to match everything correctly, and if you don't, then the other person, basically, if you clear a line, you get to hit the other player, and then if you don't, then they get to hit you. So it's a fighting game with a puzzle element to it. And then finally, we're back at basically the beginning, but this is Siphon Filter. This is a third-person shooting game. I've played this a little bit. It is a very fun game. I do get stuck easily on the levels, but Siphon Filter is a very fun game, and if you played Siphon Filter, you probably enjoyed this game. And there you go. So these are all the games that come with the PlayStation Classic. You get Tekken 3, Rainbow Six Siege, Twisted Metal, Wild Arms, Battle Arena, Cool Bowlers 2, Destruction Derby, and, you've seen the list already. So, the reason why I want to make another PS Classic video is just because, a lot of people said that this console sucks because of the game library. I've had fun with most of the games on this console. I can play Tekken 3, Rainbow Six Siege, Grand Theft Auto, Jumping Flash, Twisted Metal, Metal Gear Solid, and so on. Most of these games on the 20-game list on the PS Classic are very enjoyable, fun games. And, I don't really understand why, I do get how, we didn't get games like Medal of Honor, Crash Bandicoot, we didn't get games like the Spyro series, and, that does suck. But honestly, you get 20 games, and most of the games you get on this are amazing games. And even though some are region, even though they're PAL region, some of them are, I think it's 10 or 9 of them are PAL region, but they're still enjoyable games. Every single game on this PS Classic system are playable, and most YouTubers who hated the console and decided to be negative about it, I wanted to go into detail about it and actually show people the game library. But when you look at the library of games you get with the system, nowadays you can actually hack the system. Nowadays, in 2022, even in 2018 when the system came out, people found ways to add their favorite PlayStation 1 games to the system. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, because you can do whatever the heck you want with your PS Classic. It's your game system. But what I'm saying though is that people can definitely buy this game system and have a lot of fun with it. It's not just a sucky, boring, crappy system. It is a very fun, enjoyable console. I've spent a lot of time with Twisted Metal, Rainbow Six Siege, Tekken 3, Grand Theft Auto. Again, I've played so many of these games, and I've grown to really appreciate the PS Classic. And the PS Classic is, it's a little mini PlayStation 1 that comes with 20 built-in games, comes with 2 controllers, and it's just a fun little console. People also said that the PS Classic should have came with joysticks. Do people not realize that when the PlayStation 1 first came out, the controller looked like this? There was no joysticks when it came out. And you can play every single game with just a D-pad and the buttons. You don't need joysticks to play PlayStation 1 games. When the system first launched, because Sony was trying to be original, this is original to the system. This is what you got when it first came out. When the PlayStation 1 was launched, it came out with a controller with no joystick, just a D-pad, and it came with the system. A lot of people complained about the controller, but it's they're trying to be original to the console. Clearly, it probably should have the original controller with it because, again, when PlayStation 1 first launched, it came out with just a controller with a D-pad. So, but anyway, that's just what I want to make today. As far as videos go, I want to defend the PS Classic again because I am honestly a PlayStation 1 fan, and I'm also a PS Classic fan. And as somebody who loves the PlayStation 1, I can say the PS Classic is a good mini PlayStation 1 that comes with 20 built-in games. A lot of the games are fantastic to play, and if you want to, you can pause my video and look at the name of the games, and you could look it up on YouTube or online and see like what games you would like, to see if the system would be worth it to you, or you can see that the system is not really that bad. People tore this thing apart. They said it sucked, it was crappy, but the controller is original to what it actually came out with. This is the original controller that it forced launch with, which I actually like that it's the original controller. I actually never owned an original PlayStation 1 controller, and I like that it comes with 20 built-in games. And back in 2018, I bought my PS Classic for $100, and people hate that it was $100, but it's like, you get 20 games. You get 20 games plus 2 controllers and then the console and all the hookups you need to possibly play to play the games. So I don't think the pricing was that bad, like people say it is. And I mean, I think even the Super Nintendo Classic Edition came out for $100, and the NES. And it's like, I think the Super Nintendo Classic Edition comes with like 20 games. The NES edition, the NES Mini edition, comes with 30 games. But you get what I'm saying. The PS Classic came with 20 built-in games, some very fantastic games. And even though it didn't come with Spyro, Crash, or Medal of Honor, or some games that I would personally want, like Hogs of War, which I love that game, but I'm okay with the library. It's not really a bad library to start with. And if you're somebody who really loves PlayStation 1 games, if you're somebody who really loves the PlayStation 1 system, I think it's a good console to actually pick up even today in 2022, and you can still find them for pretty cheap. Actually, I found some on Amazon for like $60, found some on eBay for like $70, $100, $80. But you can actually get them for cheaper, because I have found PS Classic consoles for about $50. But anyway, I'm in the video. This has been my gaming review, and this has been me defending the PS Classic. Was the console really that bad when it came out in 2018? No, it really wasn't. I've been playing mine with the 20 built-in games it comes with. I've had a lot of fun with it. All the games are playable, all the games work, and even though some games are PAL and not NTSC, they still work. I don't really care if it's slightly slower than the NTSC games, because they're still playable, they're still fun to play. They're just slightly slower than NTSC games. Is there things Sony could have done to make the system better? Yes, there is. Sony could have had 30 games. Maybe Sony could have had a second controller that has a joystick. Maybe Sony could have made it possible to actually use a PS3 or PS4 controller with the system. They could have added more games. They could have maybe had a better controller. Maybe they could have had like different wallpapers you can have. Like instead of the screen being blue, I can change it to orange or green or any color I want. I mean, there's definitely things that Sony could have done to make the PS Classic feel really good, And obviously the PS Classic couldn't come close to beating Nintendo and their mini systems or Sega. But at the end of the day, if you like PlayStation 1 games, and if you want a system that comes with 20 built-in PlayStation 1 games, most of them being very fantastic, and if you want a system that comes with, 2 controllers and all that, I think the PS Classic is a perfect system, even to this day in 2022. But anyway, I'm in the video now because it's going on 20 minutes. It's a very long video, but I just want to go a little more in depth with the PS Classic and actually show the game list and just talk about the console a little bit more, because so many videos are just negative on it, or people say that you have to hack the system to make it good. That's all. It's a bunch of whatever. It's like, you can enjoy the system with a 20 built-in game. That's not that bad. But anyway, I'm gonna go. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Tell me in the comments below what you think of the game library. Tell me in the comments below what is your favorite PlayStation 1 game ever made, and have you ever played PlayStation 1 before? But anyway, peace out everyone. I'm gonna play some PS Classic now.